Give us the details first of this latest eruption, what you guys are seeing.
Yeah, so I guess first things first, the main group that's studying and monitoring the volcanoes, the Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory, a branch of the USGS, and their main function is eruption response. Here at UH-Hilo, we're trying to kind of help them out in any way we can. We have an instrument that does geochemistry on the lava samples as they're collected, and we're helping them monitor, but they have a big job. They have to look at earthquakes, they have to look at ground deformation, they have to coordinate with civil defense and the National Guard and the state and the county, and we're doing a small part to help them try to keep a handle on what's going on with the eruption.
Interesting. Well, talk about the specifics of the eruption, the lava flow. We see some live images of the ash and the gas fumes going into the sky. What you guys are observing right now.
Yeah, so Mauna Loa is a big volcano, as you said, and it erupts at a high effusion rate. So there's a lot of lava coming out of the volcano. The lava flow currently is coming from what's called Fissure 3 right now, the third one to open, up near the summit at about 11,500 feet or so in the Northeast Rift. And that flow is traveling down to the north. And it's, last checked that I saw, it's about almost 12 miles long now. It's cut a couple roads. Most importantly, so far, it cut the small paved road that goes to the NOAA Weather Observatory, which a lot of people have heard about. It's the place where CO2 is measured in the atmosphere, among other things.
Right. So how close is it to civilization, to homes and structures and people's livelihood?
Right. So the good news about this volcano right now is that it's a long way from really anybody in terms of houses or buildings or structures. The big concern on the island right now is that it might cut the Daniel K. Inouye Highway, otherwise known as Saddle Road, which is the main arterial across the island. And so it's within a couple miles of the road, and that's kind of the major arterial. It's moving very slowly right now because it's down on a very flat part of the island up in what's known as the saddle between Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. So right now, kind of in some ways, it's the perfect place for an eruption because many people are up there, probably even right now, looking at the eruption, and you can really see, you've probably seen some beautiful photos on social media and the news, et cetera, of this long ribbon of lava coming down towards them. And so it's really a great place to be able to see it. Once it gets close to the road, though, then maybe folks are going to have a few more issues to worry about.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the images, and the webcams from the USGS website are incredible as well. You can see how far this lava is shooting up into the air. Air quality is a concern always, in addition to the lava flow. You're talking about volcanic ash, volcanic gases. There's another term that I learned today, VOG, volcanic smog, which was a problem in 1984. So talk about how you monitor the air quality and how big of a concern that is right now.
Yeah, so again, there are folks that are measuring this closely. Fortunately for us that live in Hilo, the wind typically blows the other direction towards the folks over on the Kona side of the island. I'm only kidding. But no, VOG is a real issue. We have two volcanoes erupting right now. Kilauea is still erupting. There's still a lava lake at the summit. And so this is just adding to the amount of volcanic gas that's coming out. And so, that is a real issue, especially on days that are not particularly windy, where the gases can get transported out, over the ocean a little more.
Well, it's incredible. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to run up against a commercial break here, but incredible images. I am fascinated by this discussion. Steve, let's stay in touch because we'd love to have you back and talk more about this. Real quickly, how long could this continue to erupt?
It's a really good question, and the answer is nobody knows. The last two eruptions, 1984 and 1950, both lasted about 3 weeks. But one of the questions is, because it's been so long since the last eruption, almost 40 years, are we going to have a little bit longer eruption? And I think the answer is we don't know that. Volcanic tremors still occurring, and as long as that's going on, the eruption will just continue to proceed.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.